Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens Part 242 based on novel. So let's start. Countless medicinal pills rushed into the large formation from all directions. They were quickly turned into powerful energy. At the end, one could see that the energy within the large formation seemed to have turned into a liquid sea. Lightning-like loud sound was being emitted as it flowed. Founding ancestor return. Xiao Yan's hands formed many seals. His expression was ferocious as he suddenly cried out sternly. Crash! After the stern cry sounded, a swirl quickly appeared at the middle of the formation. An endless amount of liquid energy continued to surge into it. At the same time, an extremely ancient aura also slowly spread from within the swirl. The swirl rotated rapidly before quietly disappearing. At this moment, a linen-cloaked illusory elderly figure appeared. Buzz! All the members of the Yao clan suddenly felt their souls trembling violently the moment the illusory old man appeared. A kind of pressure that originated from their bloodline immediately caused the countless figures present on this mountain to kneel down. Founding ancestor. The many Yao clan's elders were so greatly affected that tears flowed from their eyes. Their faces appeared a little crazy because of the excitement. Under the stimulation of their bloodline, the figure was just like a god, which they could not offend, in their hearts. Is this the Yao clan's founding ancestor soul fragment? Xiao Yan's expression was solemn as he looked at the figure. Even with his perfect heavenly state soul, he felt some difficulty breathing under the figure. This was merely a soul fragment that had remained for a seemingly endless amount of time. It was difficult to imagine just what kind of level a true elite Di would possess. Yao Lao's body trembled slightly as stood beside Xiao Yan. He looked at the illusory figure at the middle of the large formation with eyes that were filled with fear and respect. Han Hu's eyes also became grave as he stood in the sky. The pressure that the illusory figure gave him was incomparably strong. This Yao clan was indeed not as easy to deal with as the Ling and Shi clan. Regardless of how it struggled, however, it would also have difficult escaping from the same fate. Yao Di? Those black hole-like eyes of the black flame human figure beside Han Huzi also stared at this illusory figure. A moment later, he emitted a soft sigh with some unknown feelings. Unfortunately, the ultimate expert from back then is currently just a soul fragment. Founding ancestor, please bless our Yao clan. Yao Dan knelt down in the sky and let out a low respectful cry. Yao clan. The old man in rough linen clothes within the formation let out a low mutter. The long flow of time had left his little remaining memories to become increasingly blurry. However, it was fortunate that he still had a memory of the clan he had founded. Those extremely ancient eyes slowly swept over the area below. Finally, a mutter was emitted. It has actually declined until such an extent. An ashamed expression immediately rose onto Yao Dan's face after hearing the low mutter of the illusory old man. Although the current era was different from the ancient era, he did not voice any excuses. This is Nihility devouring flame. The illusory old man did not speak to any of the members of the Yao clan. He slowly lifted his head and looked at the black flame, which covered the sky. A lost expression once again flashed across both of his eyes. He waved his sleeve and a light appeared on the formation. Those black flames, which were adhered onto it while devouring energy, were being forcefully scattered by him. Without a complete memory and without a complete soul. Your muddy state is just like that of a puppet. The Yao Di has actually also turned into such a state. It's just as well. By capturing this remnant soul of yours, it would at least surpass that of 1,000,000 complete souls. The Nihility devouring flame smiled faintly in the sky. His tone did not contain the least bit of fear and respect. His hand was extended and his finger, which was covered with black symbols, pointed below. Bang! The entire place immediately crumbled as the Nihility devouring flame pointed his finger forward. A huge black flame finger that seemed to cover half of the mountain range descended from the black flame, which spread over the sky. It ruthlessly pressed towards the formation. This entire space seemed to have completely cracked under the finger. The expressions of many turned ashen upon seeing this terrifying might. The black finger descended from the sky. However, it was just about to land on the large formation when the linen-clothed old man finally lifted his hand. A medicinal cauldron that did not lose to the huge finger in size appeared above the formation. The medicinal cauldron was covered with various mysterious lines. At a glance, it appeared as though it was real. An ancient aura spread from it. Hum. The huge finger heavily pressed onto the large cauldron. Immediately, a humming sound resounded across the sky. Grug. Some of the weaker individuals immediately spat out a mouthful of fresh blood under the frightening humming sound. Some of their eardrums were even blasted apart. Blood continued to flow out from their ears, giving them an extremely miserable appearance. The large finger scattered as the two collided. That medicinal cauldron had also become a lot more illusionary. The old man's figure had also paled slightly. Clearly, he had exhausted a great amount of energy. Just how many times a mere soul fragment can block me? The Nihility devouring flame laughed faintly after his attack failed. His finger continued to press on the empty air. Immediately, the entire area shook. A couple of huge fingers descended from the sky and continuously struck violently onto the huge cauldron. Hum hum hum. A couple of cracked lines were actually formed on the huge cauldron as this earth-shaking sound appeared. Everyone from the Yao clan, pour all of your doqi into the formation. Yao Dan's expression had changed drastically after seeing that the Nihility devouring flame was actually unafraid of the founding ancestor soul fragment. He let out a stern cry. Immediately, the doqi within his body turned into a bright light pillar that shot into the formation. Countless light pillars also erupted from the other places. Immediately, the huge cauldron once again became real-like. Moreover, it had actually directly flew out of the formation and whistled towards the Nihility devouring flame in the sky this time around. Han Hu's expression changed after he saw the huge cauldron rushing over. His body hurriedly hid behind the Nihility devouring flame. You have the strength of the Yao clan, so do I. The tone of the Nihility devouring flame was still calm. With a wave of his sleeve, the entire Yao realm immediately began to tremble. Everyone was shocked to see that there were dense black flame clusters rising from outside this formation. Finally, they entered the black flame in the sky. Immediately, countless of miserable cries resounded over this place. It's the descendant citizens of the Yao clan. Xiao Yan's expression changed drastically. Those densely packed light clusters encompassed countless of wildly struggling human figures. These people were all the descendant citizens of the Yao clan. The moment they were being sucked into the black flame clouds, Xiao Yan could see that their bodies were turned into blood, which were completely devoured. What ruthless method! He didn't even let those descendant citizens off. Xiao Yan clenched his fist tightly. There were at least millions of descendant citizens in this Yao realm. Yet, all of them were devoured by the Nihility devouring flame. Han clan, Yoru Han clan will be an irreconcilable enemy of my Yao clan. The shocking change outside of the formation was also detected by Yao Dan. His eyes cracked slightly as his vicious and mad roar resounded over the entire place. The Nihility devouring flame completely ignored Yao Dan's roar. He clenched his hand and a blood ball was formed. Immediately, it swelled at a terrifying speed. The members of the Yao clan could clearly sense a familiar scent from within the blood ball. Explode! The Nihility devouring flame waved his hand after the blood ball swelled to 10,000 feet. Finally, it heavily collided with the huge cauldron flying over. A bloodlight covered the entire sky at that moment. Everyone seemed to have turned deaf at that moment. However, the blood-red color, which filled their eyes, allowed them to understand that this extermination-like clash was not an illusion. Bang! An indescribable frightening energy attack swept wildly from the sky. Many cracked lines were formed from the explosion upon contact. Finally, it completely disappeared under the wild devourment of the black flame. The remaining annihilation force swept down and ruthlessly smashed onto the formation. Boom! The formation trembled violently as this force swept down. A liquid-like energy filled it as it scattered at a shocking speed. The formation is about to break. Looking at the increasingly pale large formation, the hearts of everyone from the GU clan quickly became icy cold. They did not expect that this formation that was formed from the strength of their entire clan was actually unable to block this terrifying existence. The rough linen-clothed illusory old man at the middle of the formation also softly sighed as he watched this scene. His mutter drifted into everyone's ears. This calamity cannot be avoided. His figure suddenly rushed out of the formation after his voice sounded. It turned into an illusory ray of light that cut through the black flame cloud with a speed exceeding the speed of light. Finally, it shot into the body of the Nihility devouring flame. Bang! The collision between the two merely emitted a somewhat soft muffled sound. However, the body of the Nihility devouring flame trembled intensely. Soon after, his tone finally revealed a little fury for the first time. "You, damn old ghost, disappear from this world." Black flame surged out from within his body in all directions. Immediately, a slight sound was emitted. It was as though a soul was shattered. The sound was soft, but the bodies of all the members of the Yao clan stiffened at this moment. They could sense that there was something which was quietly vanishing from their bloodline. Founding ancestor. Xiao Dan's scarlet eyes dully looked at the sky. It was as though his belief had crumbled at this moment. Crack! The formation began to tremble even more intensely in front of the stunned expression of everyone from the Yao clan. Finally, it emitted a crack sound and exploded in front of many shocked eyes. The formation has been broken. Even this Yao clan's guardian formation had finally crumbled under the frightening energy assault that could destroy the world. It turned into countless of light spots that poured down from the sky. The luster emitted from them highlighted the many dull and stunned faces below. Despite having used all of their strength, they were still unable to change their fate. Many people felt terrified and hopeless under that demon godlike figure in the sky. Xiao Yan's expression was solemn as he watched this scene. The do-chi within his body began to circulate quietly. A black light flashed beside him and the Northern King once again appeared. He also took a couple of steps back and stood beside Yao Lao. This danger was likely the most intense one he had ever come across. Even he did not have an absolute confidence to escape from this dragnet placed by the Han clan. Yao Lao withdrew his eyes, which were looking at the sky. There was some moisture in them. Even though he did not have a deep feeling towards the Yao clan, the illusory figure from earlier was a godlike existence towards all the members of the Yao clan. Anyone with the bloodline of the Yao clan would sense an extremely important thing had suddenly disappeared after witnessing its complete destruction. You should leave first if anything goes wrong. The Sky Mansion Alliance cannot do without you. Moreover, you still have to rescue your father. Yao Lao spoke in a hoarse voice. Xiao Yan's expression changed slightly, but he did not speak. Those dark black eyes of his, however, revealed a determined expression. Teacher, be rest assured. Xiao Yan softly uttered those words after musing quietly. However, he did not know just what he meant by be rest assured. Yao Dan, who stood in the midair, slowly stood up in front of the countless pairs of eyes. The disappearance of that soul fragment had caused a huge hole to appear in his heart. However, he was after all the clan head. Hence, he swiftly suppressed his lost feeling. A low voice resounded beside the ears of all the members of the Yao clan. All clan members, now is the time when the fate of our Yao clan will be determined. The only thing we can do is to risk everything to preserve our bloodline. All elders, fight alongside me. Human figures rushed out from the mountain range in all directions after Yao Dan's final stern cry sounded. There were not only elders of the Yao clan present. Even some of the younger generation of the Yao clan had charged forward with reddened eyes. They understood that if they were unable to endure through this calamity, the Yao clan would completely disappear in history. The Yao clan was their root. Once they lose this root, they would end up roaming around without a home. All the glory and pride that they once had would be annihilated. Charge! Yao Dan's body trembled as he looked at the densely packed human figures charging up the sky. Monstrous do-chi erupted from within their bodies without holding back. Finally, it turned into a 10,000 feet large Do-Chi pillar that whistled out. Its momentum was shocking as it rushed towards the nihility devouring flame in the sky. Swoosh swoosh. Countless of Do-Chi pillars of different strength rushed forward together behind the 10,000 feet large Do-Chi pillars. They were accompanied by a determination as they shot towards the nihility devouring flame from all directions. Xiao Yan's eyes became grave as he watched the Do-Chi, which had covered the sky. This kind of mighty retaliation was indeed worthy of the Yao clan. However, that person was far too terrifying. From his guess, the actual body of the nihility devouring flame had likely reached the extremely frightening 8 or even 9-star Doshan class. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to destroy the Yao clan's guardian formation. Moreover, even the Yao Di soul fragment had been scattered. The strength of the Han clan is actually this frightening. No wonder it was able to quietly eliminate the Ling and Shi clan. Xiao Yan clenched his fist tightly. Moreover, the nihility devouring flame was the only one which had appeared this time around. That mysterious clan head has yet to appear. Perhaps he was preventing the Gu clan from detecting anything. Even though this was the case, just this alone had forced the Yao clan into such a state. The strength that the Han clan hid was really shocking. Han Huzi looked at the bright Do-Chi pillars that filled his eyes from the sky. His expression was slightly altered. If he was to even touch such an attack, it was likely that he would immediately be seriously injured. After all, this attack had basically gathered the full strength of the entire Yao clan. The eyes of nihility devouring flame beside Han Huzi, who was wrapped within a black flame, also fluctuated slightly because of those black hole-like eyes. Clearly, even he did not dare to easily slight this retaliation from the Yao clan. His palms, which was covered in strange symbols, were once again extended from within the black flame. After which, they formed many seals with lightning-like speed. The black flame that covered the sky churned intensely. Finally, it formed 100,000 feet large black hole swirl. An indescribable frightening devouring force appeared the moment the swirl was formed. It erupted in all directions as it did so. Bang bang. In the face of such a frightening devouring power, the land within 100,000 feet immediately crumbled. Many 10,000 feet large crack lines spread from the ground. They were just like ferocious wounds, which covered this spacious area. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Many large Do-Chi pillars continuously charged into the black hole-like swirl. A low and deep explosion resounded within the black hole. Such a frightening energy assault caused even the incomparably large swirl to form some intense fluctuation. The black flame over the body of the nihility devouring flame continued to explode and form clusters of flames the moment the black hole fluctuated. His body staggered dozens of steps backwards. Han Huzi's expression changed upon seeing this. It is indeed not easy to deal with this Yao clan. That Yao Di soul fragment might have been scattered, but it had ended up causing the nihility Sir to be injured. Now, the clan has gathered all of its strength and attacked. Even someone as strong as him has been pushed back. Han Huzi's eyes flickered rapidly. The body of the nihility devouring flame also stabilized. The black flame lingering over his body had diminished significantly as compared to earlier. It seemed that he was not feeling good about the all-out retaliation of the Yao clan. The Yao clan is not bad. You are indeed much stronger compared to the Ling and Shi clan. However, this will not change your final fate. The nihility devouring flame steadied himself and looked downwards. His ancient hoarse voice was slowly emitted at the same time. After the hoarse voice of the nihility devouring flame slowly sounded, the black flame, which spread across the sky, slowly revealed many egg-like balls. Black flame surrounded the ball. Many faint black light suddenly seeped out from the black flame cloud layer and rushed into that egg. Bang! Bang! Those densely packed light eggs suddenly exploded as the blood light entered. Immediately, many sharp screech resounded over the sky. Densely packed black fire figures poured down from the sky like a storm. After which, they crazily charged towards the mountain range below. Everyone within the mountain range had a drastic change in expression as they looked at the black flame figures hurrying over in close proximity. Immediately, they circulated their Do-Chi. However, their dochi had only just risen when a black light flashed in front of them. Many people felt a pain in their chest. After lowering their heads, they saw that there was already a huge bloody hole on their chest. Fresh blood and internal organs shot out from it. What are these things? Xiao Yan's expression was a little gloomy. He randomly grabbed a black flame figure. These things possessed the bodies of a human. However, those hollow scarlet eyes and the sharp wild beast-like claws allowed him to understand that there was quite a big difference between these things and humans. These things are able to devour the flesh and dochi of people. Yao Lao exclaimed. There were also a couple of black flame figures that had been blasted into clusters of black blood under his feet. The entire mountain range descended into chaos in the face of these strange black flame creatures' attack. Intense fights broke out everywhere. Miserable screeches continued to appear while scarlet blood dyed the land red. Yao Dan looked at the medicine mountain, which had swiftly descended into chaos, from the mid-air. His expression was extremely gloomy. With a wave of his sleeve, frightening dochi began to erupt and directly killed the hundreds of black flame creatures near him. After which, he grabbed with his hand and caught hold of a black flame creature. His eyes suddenly shrunk after he observed it for a moment. Finally, he violently inhaled a breath of cool air. Tunling clan. How is it possible that such a clan still exists? Weren't they completely eliminated during the ancient era? Tunling clan. Below him, Xiao Yan, who had heard Yao Dan's shocked roar, knitted his brow slightly. He mused for a moment while feeling some uncertainty. After which, he exchanged glances with Yao Lao and saw that the other party also had a lost expression. Clearly, the latter was also unaware of this so-called Tunling clan. Ha ha, you are indeed worthy of being the clan head of the Yao clan. Now, do you understand why my Han clan has attacked you? Han Huzi laughed in a faint voice. His eyes were extremely sinister as he looked at Yao Dan. No wonder your Han clan continues to exist since the ancient times despite the gradual decline of many clans. Yao Dan was incomparably shocked as he looked at the nihility devouring flame in the sky. It appeared as though he had discovered some extremely frightening thing. Soon after, his body suddenly appeared below. With a wave of his hand, dozens of young members of the Yao clan were grabbed in his hand. Elders of the Yao clan. Self-destruct and destroy the realm. We can die, but we must ensure that the seeds of the Yao clan's bloodline survives. Many experts from the Yao clan in the sky trembled after hearing this heartbreaking stern cry. Grief and determination flashed across their faces. Between the destruction of the clan and sacrificing themselves to retain their bloodline, they did not hesitate to choose the latter. At this moment, Xiao Yan also inhaled a deep breath of air. He grabbed Yao Lao's arm. Both of his eyes were stern. It was time. The many experts from the Yao clan in the sky suddenly emitted an extremely bright luster from within their bodies. The dochi within their bodies had become extremely wild and violent at this moment. They actually intends to self-destruct. Han Hu's expression changed slightly upon seeing this. If this many experts were to self-destruct, even this sealed realm might be torn open. However, the nihility devouring flame had already turned into countless of tunneling at this moment and was unable to stop them. Humph, it is not so easy to escape under the eyes of our Han clan. Han Hu's eyes became gloomy. He rapidly took out a scroll with a rising black flame from his storage ring. After which, he suddenly tore it apart. Black flame surged and directly formed a flame tunnel. Many figures rushed out from within it and appeared in the sky of this chaotic place. Ha ha, it is unexpected that you have actually ended up in such a state in this meeting of ours. Waves after waves of vast and mighty dark chilly auras spread over the sky after the many black figures came out from the tunnel. Such a might caused the hearts of everyone in this already dangerous state to sink. Had the Han clan's experts finally showed themselves? The activity in the sky was also detected by Yao Dan. He suddenly lifted his head and gathered towards the leader of the many black figures. There were two elders standing at that spot. At this moment, the two of them were smilingly looking at him. Their smiles were filled with an iciness. Han Jing, Han Yang, two of the four demon saints of the Hun clan has actually appeared together. Your Hun clan really thinks highly of my Yao clan. The elder leading the group laughed faintly upon hearing the low and vicious voice of Yao Dan. He said, Yao Dan, the alchemist skills of your Yao clan does still have some use for our Hun clan. If you agree to the Yao clan being an affiliated clan of my Hun clan, you might still be able to preserve some bloodline. Even if my Yao clan was to sacrifice our last drop of blood, we will definitely not live in a humiliating manner under your Hun clan. Yao Dan spoke in a dense voice. Being a member of the Yao clan, they possessed their own pride. No one would agree with that whatever affiliation. In that case, we can only kill all of you. The elder was unsurprised at Yao Dan's words. He grinned slightly and waved his hand. He spoke in a soft voice, do not leave any survivors. Understood. The many experts from the Hun clan behind immediately revealed a ferocity in their eyes upon hearing this. They let out a savage laughter. Immediately, majestic Do Chi erupted and rushed downwards from all directions. Explode! Seeing the experts from the Hun clan attacking, the light on the body of an elder of the Yao clan suddenly became extremely bright. Immediately, an extremely wild and violent energy wildly exploded in the sky. Some of the experts from the Hun clan, who had been struck, immediately spat out blood and pulled back rapidly. Bang! 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 After the first expert from the Yao clan self-destructed, it seemed to have suddenly lit the blood of the many members of the Yao clan. Immediately, light surged within the bodies of many. Finally, they shot through the sky like falling stars and self-destructed at the same spot simultaneously. Boom boom! A frightening extermination storm had flattened this entire mountain range in an instant. Tens of thousands of feet large deep streams cracked lines began to spread like a spider web. In the face of such a frightening self-destruct attack, the realm, which had originally been completely sealed, had actually once again become distorted. There were some tiny cracks vaguely appearing. Continue. Yao Dan's eyes revealed a joyous expression after seeing that the space had finally been altered slightly. However, an endless sadness was hid under this joy. Who would have expected that this Yao clan, which had been completely peaceful a day ago, would actually end up with tens of millions of descendant citizens being killed and many clan members being dead or seriously injured? The danger of the clan being exterminated still covered over them. At this moment, the only thing that they could do was for their clan members to self-destruct and enable the bloodline to continue. After hearing the stern cry, many experts from the Yao clan continued to unhesitatingly self-destruct. Humph! Han Jing in the sky let out a cold snort. He waved his sleeve. Monstrous black aura surged out with lightning-like speed. It immediately turned into a large hand that threw those members of the Yao clan, who wanted to self-destruct at a certain spot, far away. In this way, those Yao clan's experts, which had exploded in the other areas, had sacrificed themselves to no avail. Wanhua! Yao Dan cried out explosively after seeing Han Jing intervening. Elder Wanhua, who was covered in blood a short distance away, had directly shot upwards after hearing Yao Dan's cry. A couple of extremely powerful elders from the Yao clan also followed. The Do Chi within their bodies had boiled completely at this moment. Their auras suddenly soared as their Do Chi boil. This would be their final battle. A battle to protect the members of their clan. I can stop them alone. Han Huzi laughed coldly after seeing Elder Wanhua and the rest use a secret technique to cause boil their Do Chi and cause their aura to soar. His body moved and appeared in front of Elder Wanhua. He waved his hand and black flame surged. Just his strength alone was sufficient to drag Elder Wanhua and the others into a battle with him. Seeing that miserable and tragic battle, Xiao Yan had also involuntarily tightened his fist. Was this the clan extermination war? The Xiao clan back then had likely also experienced this same scene. In order to ensure that their bloodline lived on, these people were willing to give up everything. They did not feel any regret even if they had to self-destruct. At this moment, the private grudge between all of them had already vanished. Those clan members who once had some conflict with each other were willing to self-destruct in order to protect the other. Damn Hun clan! The scarlet color within Xiao Dan's eyes became even more intense after seeing that even Elder Wanhua's group had been held back. His eyes swiftly swept around the place and finally paused in the direction of Xiao Yan a short distance away. His body immediately moved and appeared in front of the latter. With a wave of his hand, over a dozen members of the Yao clan appeared beside Xiao Yan. These people were a little familiar to Xiao Yan. This was because they were the group of young people who had obtained the best result on the medicinal ceremony. Xiao Yan, the experts from my Yao clan will self-destruct to tear open the realm and provide you with a chance to escape. I have never begged anyone in my life, but this time around, I beg that you help me preserve some of the Yao clan's bloodline. Xiao Dan's eyes were blood red as they stared at Xiao Yan. His voice spoke in an anxious and hurried manner. A short distance from Xiao Yan was that old man Shen Nong, who had quite a good relationship with him. However, he did not choose the latter. This was because his instincts vaguely told him that only Xiao Yan had the ability to help him preserve the bloodline. Moreover, he did not have any other choice at this moment. In order to preserve a little of the clan's bloodline, he was willing to even self-destruct. This sudden unexpected occurrence caused Xiao Yan to be startled. He looked at the blood-red eyes of Xiao Dan and felt his heart become stuffy. Regardless of what had happened, the latter was still a qualified clan head. Xiao Yan inhaled a deep breath of air. He glanced at Yao Lao. The latter's eyes were a little moist. However, he did not say anything. Clan head, allow me to stay. I will fight with these damn bastards. Bloody tears crossed Yao Qian's face. He had personally saw his father being killed by a couple of experts from the Han clan. At this moment, all he knew was that he should try his best to kill the members of the Han clan and take revenge for his father. Slap! A slap was violently swung onto Yao Qian's face after his words sounded. Yao Dan looked at Yao Qian ferociously. He roared like a wild beast, "What can you useless individuals do by staying behind? Countless members of the clan have self-destructed to provide you with the opportunity to escape. How can you face them?" Yao Qian held his half-swollen face. He bit his lips. Blood continued to seep out from the corner of his mouth. Yao Ling by his side, who was just like a goddess in the hearts of the younger members of the Yao clan, was also crying. After having experienced the unexpected occurrence today, they finally understood that they were just like a flower protected in a greenhouse by the clan. All of you will obey everything Xiao Yang says. In order to ensure that the bloodline of the Yao clan continues, you will have to die if you are asked to. Xiao Yang sighed softly. This is really a heavy burden that had inexplicably appeared. He was unable to even take care of the Xiao clan. Where would he find so much energy? However, he needed to rely on the strength of the Yao clan in order to tear open the sealed realm. Hence, he had no choice but to agree. Clan head Yao Dan. I will do my best. Old fellow, I will also do my best to help, old man Shen Nong, who had flew over, softly sighed. Prepare yourselves. I will block Han Jing and Han Yang. The other elders of the Yao clan will help you tear open the space. Yao Dan rubbed off the blood on his face. His eyes swept over Yao Qian and the others. His expression was also extremely calm. Finally, he smiled and stomped onto the ground. His body shot out and the Do Qi within it completely boiled. Finally, he appeared like a brilliant falling star as he shot towards Han Jing and Han Yang in the sky. This lunatic! Han Jing Duo's faces became cold after seeing Yao Dan charging over with all his strength. Both of them attacked and the color of the sky changed. Bang! 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 After Han Jing Duo were engaged into a miserable big battle with Yao Dan, the many Yao clan elders in the sky once again rushed forward. After which, they wildly exploded at the same spot. Boom boom boom. After the space trembled, that spot in the space began to become increasingly distorted. Traces of black flame symbols seeped out from within the space and finally exploded apart in the face of the wild and violent energy assault. Let's go! Pink flame quickly surged out from within Xiao Yang's body the moment the black flame symbols cracked. A fire barrier was formed. After which, it locked Xiao Qian, Yao Ling and the dozen over figures inside it. The Northern King behind protected Yao Lao. Their group speed was unleashed until the limit as they hurried towards the space where the black flame symbol was torn with lightning-like speed. This video will end here.